Hello everyone, I'm Rosphere, and it's time we talk about Stormblood. I was really hoping to have Stormblood finished by the time I had recorded this audio for this video. I recorded the audio talking about it on the 21st, which was a Tuesday, and yeah, I was hoping to have it finished by the time I needed to make this video, but I just hadn't quite gotten around to it. By the time this video goes up, I will have gotten much further. I might have actually finished the story or gotten much closer, obviously. But I will have it finished before next week. That's 100% certain at this point. I really, really want to get into Shadowbringers. I'm really hyped to getting into that content because the group content and everything in Stormblood at level 70 and stuff like that is just so much fun. I really, really, really enjoy it. It's awesome, and I can't wait to get to the newer content and then finally into Endwalkers. And yeah, the story and everything's just been amazing. But yeah, with all that being said, if you like these videos, you want to follow my progress through the MSQ and stuff like that, I'm basically tracking and recording everything that I do all the way up. So if you'd like to keep up with that, hear my reactions and stuff like that, go ahead and drop a subscribe, like, whatever, those things. And yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, just fair warning so that everybody knows, there will be spoilers in this video, so if you don't want things spoiled, now would be the time to click off. So yeah, go ahead and click off the video, and I'm going to jump right into things here, start talking about story and MSQ and stuff like that. So you have been warned. But yeah, with that being said, last video we left off talking about where we had just taken the bridge back in Alamigo and gotten to the other side. I had met like this village where Minago, the Mikote, is from. Hadn't met like her people or anything really yet, because we were more focused on what was going on with the Snake People. And the Snake People had like the matriarch of one of the groups that had sided with the Empire, Fordola, and her skulls or whatever, her military men, who I don't really remember the names of. They're not super important, I guess. But her people like freaked out, and they were like holding this the princess or whatever of this snake tribe hostage, and they were the snake tribe was trying to get him back. They were threatening the Fordola and those people, so they killed her. And in the matriarch's rage, she summoned an icon, which is a primal. I guess they're not calling them primals anymore. I'm not really sure where the term icon came from. It just kind of started happening. Maybe I missed something. I don't know. Yeah, she summoned one. She summoned an icon. Yeah, it was a really kind of like impactful moment for me. It was a pretty cool moment in the story, even though we ended up killing the icon primal, as we always do. It was kind of cool, like the rage of the mother just brought it to life. But yeah, and it was kind of sad in a way too, because they brought back her daughter as a shell, basically a zombie. It was a functioning body but had no soul, which is just, it was so sad. It was really, really sad to see. Yeah. But anyways, the fight, fighting the primal, was incredibly cool. I'm starting to love the fights in Final Fantasy more and more as I go through. You can really see the progression of, like, from going from A Realm Reborn to Heavensward to Stormblood, of like the quality of group content is just picked up. And in Stormblood, it really feels like, to me, because I have played some of Shadowbringers, and when I say I played it, I skipped the story and just played the group content and stuff like that. But yeah, so this is my it kind of like Stormblood reminds me a lot of Shadowbringers content. And there was a little, like, some hints, like one or two boss fights that I did in Heavensward that reminded me of that, but it just didn't quite give me the same feeling as the bosses in Stormblood are doing so far. And they're just so much fun. I really love the group content in Final Fantasy, because it's like they're hard, but they're not too hard, and it feels like even going in blind, you go in and you can overcome 90% of everything first time through, but it still like pushes you. As long as you like have fast reaction times and you kind of understand, it's like this marker means this and this marker means that. When the boss looks here and looks like he's gonna swing his sword, it's like maybe you shouldn't stand in front of him. Stuff like that. It's really cool because you can figure it all out on your own, and it makes the game so much more fun and feels so much more meaningful than like mechanics in like World of Warcraft, for example. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. Getting back to the story, we killed that icon, and then there was the big battle at the, I don't remember the name of the city, but it was the one that it was between the who was it? Raban and Pippin, his son, were there, and they were fighting in the city, and Fordola was basically commanded to. Oh wait, I missed a big part. We're gonna go back a little bit. Okay, so there was a cutscene like right before this because Fordola had lost the bridge. Zenos obviously was upset, and he's like, "I'll give you one more chance. You have to basically go under this procedure, right? This experimental procedure, and have this done to you to give you like more power so that you can do this thing." And it was really, really funny. It was funny for me because as soon as she went under this procedure and she came out, and you got to see what it was, right? You didn't really get to see what it was, right? But she barely like lived through this, and it was giving her a headache, whatever. You have no idea really what it is just yet. And then she shows up at like the main headquarters, and that is when the battle that I was talking about happens, right? So there's this big battle with Raban and Pippin there. They're winning. The Imperials are losing. The Empire is losing the battle. We're going to take the city. So what Zenos has told Fordola to do is to shoot this place with this massive cannon. So she does that, and it blows the place up, killing all of her own soldiers and people that she's been friends with forever, right? And so it kills all these people, kills a bunch of our people too, but obviously like Raban and Pippin, and most everybody gets out except for Conrad, who is, I think his name is Conrad, the leader of the Alamegans, and that's when he passes leadership off to Lys. Which was a pretty cool moment. It was really sad to see the old guy die, but I got feelings that he was gonna not make it as well. Kind of similar feelings to the feelings I had about Gosu right before he had died. It was kind of like I saw it coming, so it wasn't as emotional as maybe it could have been, because it was kind of predictable. It's an old guy going into battle, talking about how he's not always going to be there, blah blah blah. So it's like, yeah, he's not really going to make it much longer. He's probably going to die somewhere at some point. And he dies, passes leadership off to Lys. And then, of course, they're going to shoot the cannon again and load it with maximum charge, and just blow the place up. And Estinian, he comes in out of nowhere and just lances the cannon, destroys it. Everybody, like all the Imperials, freak out. It's like, how could one man do that? And Estinian has like, it looks like a spear that's made from something to do with Nidhogg. It was pretty crazy. Yeah. But anyways, while that's happening, after that happens, then you and Lys, the Warrior of Light, I should say, and Lys and Alphino and I forget who else was there. You go and attack the cannon to see what's going on, and because you can like get the drop on them while they're repairing, and it was really cool, because you go through, it's it's like I think it was a dungeon before then. It doesn't matter. It was really cool going in there, taking advantage of the cannon. You at this point have no idea that Estinian was the one who blew up the cannon. I still don't know if we ever found out that it was Estinian or not. Maybe? He's kind of just doing his own thing, being a badass. But, yeah, so you're there. Fordola is still in the command room, and she's waiting for you and Lys and everybody. And Lys and... it was Alice who was there. Maybe it wasn't Alphino. Maybe it was just Alice. Lys and Alice attack Fordola, and this is one of the coolest moments because and it was funny to me. I started laughing a little bit because as soon as like Fordola triggers her power, and it turns her eye into this thing, and I'll show a clip here, not of Fordola, but I'll show a clip here of something else, just a short little clip because I'll get a copyright claim otherwise. as soon as she triggered her power, I was like, it's Sir Night-Eye from from uh, from My Hero Academia. It's an anime. I'm sure most people here who are playing Final Fantasy have seen it. Maybe, I don't know. The the dub of I'm about to. Here's my hot take on this. The dub of My Hero Academia is better than the sub. I said it. Fight me. Uh, anyways, it was like, oh, it's Sir Night-Eye. As soon as I saw that, though, her eye change, I was like, it reminds me exactly of like Sir Night-Eye, and it was really funny because it's exactly the same power as Sir Night-Eye, and it makes me think that the creator of My Hero got the idea for it from Final Fantasy, right? Like, that's not a bad thing, obviously. Like, it's not a bad thing to get ideas from somewhere else. It was just one of those things I saw it, and I was like, aha, I know where this person got the idea for their character. Because Sir Night-Eye is a really cool character. And so is Fordola, for that matter. But, yeah, it just reminded me of that, because it's like Sir Night-Eye can predict. His power is like prediction, and he can predict like what's going to happen in the future. So if he's going to be punched in the face, and he's using his power, he can then like move before it happens because he knows exactly where the punch is going to go, and basically just fight with foresight, like Fordola was, which is really cool. So I just thought that was funny. Anyways, so moving on from that, Krile was also captured, and I don't remember. I'm saying this out of order at this point, but Krile was captured, and I was absolutely terrified when I saw them put her into this little machine thing. I still don't know what they're for entirely, because it's this facility that Krile was in was also the facility that Fordola was in when she had been given the power, and I'm still worried about Krile. I don't know if something there's going to be some after effects, or something's going to happen later, or maybe like she's been working for the Empire, something. I'm still worried about that. But I was, after I saw, like, we were finally able to save Krile, and I like actually like audibly gasped. I was like, oh, thank God. I was like, because I was freaking out. I thought when we pulled her out, she was going to be either dead or in a coma. Find out like that they siphoned her ether away so that they could give it to Fordola, something like that. I thought it was going to be something along those lines, and she was just not going to live through it. Currently, where I'm at in the story, she's fine, but I was terrified. And then yeah, you move on a little bit forward. You're getting ready to go into the final battle with for Alamigo. You're getting ready to like kind of take back everything. There was a bunch of like smaller other events that I'm not like remembering offhand. I haven't had enough time to like fully digest the story like I usually have. Usually I wait like a week before I make these videos. I'm just doing this like right after I had finished playing a whole bunch. So you're getting ready for like the big battle, the final battle, and one of like the coolest moments I've had in the entire game happened. And it's when they like incorporated I believe it was like the Stormblood trailer with a quest in game, because Lisa's like, hey, we're gonna go into this battle, and she's like changed into these clothes, and that's like kind of when I first realized it's like Lisa's the girl in the trailer. Like I didn't realize until that moment, because she had changed into the new clothes, and I was like, yes, this is so cool. They had planned it out like that far ahead. It's kind of cool. But anyways, so you like talk to Lise. She's like, hey, let's go spar one last time, blah 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 before this battle. So you do, and you go up. You're on the hand, just like in the trailer, and you have the slow-mo like punch again, just like in the trailer, but it's you and Lise this time instead of the other way around. With I think it was Hyen. Now that I'm like looking back on it, but man, that was so cool. Like it gave me chills. Really, really cool moment for me. And then yeah, you go into the final battle with it's this big long like thing, and it ends with a dungeon where you go through and you fight Zenos. Was it a dungeon? Yeah, it was. You go through in a dungeon and you fight Zenos. And then the cutscene after the dungeon, where you fight Zenos and you beat his ass, and he's just like, well, that was fun, and then he walks away. You follow him out into the garden, and he's got another icon, but it's like got electricity around it, and it's like pokeballed, and it's just sitting there, and he's talking back and forth for quite a while, and you kind of realize just how evil this guy is. Like, it's more evil than I had even thought before. Like, the guy is just absolutely insane, and it's insane in like a cool way. It's not insane in a creepy way. And like it was just such a cool cutscene. And then I'll play a picture, or I'll play a bit of it here.
We tower above the gods. You by your gift, I by my might. And before the resonance, the gods shall be made to kneel.
Where he like shows that he has the power as well, the same power that was given to Fordola, and both of his eyes go full on like Sir Night Eye, and basically at that point you'd found out that he'd given himself the Echo, so he can use that to control primals, because he just has more influence than the primal, so he can like take over the primal, and he like explodes in power, absorbs himself into this dragon, and it's one of the coolest cutscenes I've seen in a game ever. And again, I got the chills. I was like, yes, goosebumps, I should say. It was such a cool moment to see that, and then he like flies away, and then you have to fight him, and then that fight itself, again, like the fights are just so good. It's like the fights are almost on the level of what I did fighting Nidhogg the first time. Almost all of them are just, they give me that same feeling. Even the dungeons, I get that same feeling because they're all just so cool. And like I said, like you go in blind and they're still doable like 90% of the time. Some of the mechanics, you see it and it's like, wait, this doesn't make any sense. So I don't know what to do in the moment. But usually it's not like instant death. Sometimes it is, but it's not like gonna instantly kill you. So it's like teaches you. It's like, now I understand what to do. But yeah, so like you fight him in his form. It's one of the coolest fights I've seen. Like it was a really cool fight, and there was so much going on. I was losing track of my my monk rotation. Like I was losing track of what I was doing. I wasn't able to like focus on cooldowns and abilities and all that stuff just because I was not. I only did the fight once, obviously, because everybody already knows the fight. Even if I don't do anything, it's gonna die. But yeah, like I was mashing buttons, trying to keep track of what I was doing, not really having any luck with that, and it was a good fight though. There was just so much going on. I want to go do it again, 2 or 3 more times, just to kind of learn the fight and just like actually be able to play it and have fun with it. Because the first time through was just, I felt like the other players were dragging me through it, because there was so many things. It's like, oh, he's casting this ability. Well, I don't know what it does, right? And it's like, well, if you don't do this thing, it's gonna blast you off the edge, and then he'll do this thing, and it's like he'll like cast fire, and it's like, well, you should probably stand in the water, otherwise you take way more damage. And I learned that pretty quick, and it's just, yeah, like there was all kinds of stuff going on in that fight that you wouldn't know going in blind the first time through, because there's not like a marker of like, go here, do this kind of thing. A lot of them have markers, but some of them don't. And then he was blowing up pieces of the floor, and it was nuts. I did manage to get through the active time maneuver. That was my first active time maneuver, so did manage to get through that. But yeah, it was a really cool fight. Anyways, so kill him. Estinian shows up, and I guess the Nidhogg's eyes were there, and he finally like stabs the eyes, and they poof into nothingness. So, like Nidhogg finally gone, and a whole expansion later just completely erased. At least as far as I know. Maybe he'll come back. Maybe he'll have a third showing or a fourth showing or something like that, like Lady, I think it's Sinistra in World of Warcraft or something like that. They keep bringing this dragon back as like a zombie just over and over. But anyways, I think Nidhogg's completely gone. I'm hoping he's gone. And then not long after that, you get like the final credit scene, and as you're watching the credits, it's like showing you all these little things, and lo and behold, Gosu is not dead. Yeah, Gosu's not dead. Yatsuyu? Yeah, Yatsuyu, also not dead. Yotsuyu? Yeah, Yotsuyu. Maybe? I don't know. I can't say her name. I don't really care about her as much. Gosetsu's not dead, though. And I'm just like, he's on this deserted island and he's fishing, and I guess he had saved Yotsuyu as well. And it's like, what? I don't... That man is a fucking tank. Because he got... he was shot multiple times while being crushed by a building. I want to know what happened now. I need to know what the fuck is going on. Because they just show this clip and then like, that's all you get. And then it's just over. And it's like, okay, thanks for that. So now I'm like super interested about that, and I need to like push through the story so I can learn what happened and like meet up with Gosetsu again. I'm assuming you get to meet him up with him again, but I was just completely blown away. When I saw that, it was just, yeah, it was a good moment. I'm really happy that he's not dead because I really liked his character. Really, really liked his character. And also the fact that he's not dead makes me happy, because then it doesn't completely just play into that trope of like, oh, you learned a bunch about him. He was a secondary character. They show his backstory. Then he dies, right? Like they do that in anime a lot, where there's a secondary character that's kind of floating around in the back. They show you a whole bunch about him. There's like an episode or two about him, and they really, really make you like this character, and then that character dies. They do that a lot in anime, and I had felt like they were going to do that with Gosetsu, and then when you thought he died, I was like, oh, well, yeah, I saw that coming. Yeah, so I'm really happy that he's not dead yet. I hope that he lives. I want to see what happens with him. Yeah, I just... I'm talking about like a 10-second clip now for like forever, but it was really, really cool to see that he's not dead. And then it was kind of weird because after the credits are over, the next step in the story is Ehrenwald, this guy that it felt like he came out of nowhere. I felt like I didn't really know his character much, and he's just like, hey, I'm here now. But yeah, like he came up to me and it's like, hey, let's have an adventure like old times. It's like, okay, we'll go on an adventure. And he's like, okay, go get Alphino. We'll go on an adventure. All right. And then, okay. And then you go on an adventure, you get to do another dungeon, which was a really, really, really good dungeon. I loved it. Like, absolutely loved it. It was so much fun. Yeah, it was really great. Anyways, you go to this dungeon, you come out and you find the horde of like the Mad King of Alamigo, and it's this massive like treasure room. There's just piles of money and golden sculptures and paintings and treasure chests everywhere. so you end up finding that, and you go talk to Lise, and she's like, "Great, I'll make sure you spend the money. I'll make sure the money's spent wisely." And then that's the last of it. But it was just funny how it was like, uh, they introduced it. It's like, how do we start this next chapter in the story? It's like, well, we don't really know where to go from here or how to get the ball rolling again. So it's like, well, we could just say, well, they are adventurers. Let's go on an adventure. It felt like a little bit of a cheap way to get it started again. I don't really mind, to be honest. I've been having a lot of fun with it. It didn't cheapen it in any way. But it just seemed like a really easy way out to make it, to drive the story forward again. Yeah, so, and I just had seen the part where, what did I leave off on? There was a whole bunch of stuff, like when I had finished the story in the credits, it was like 20 different unlocks had popped up, and I didn't really know what to do, so I just grabbed them all, and I started doing all the unlocks, and I'm mixing up some of the unlock stuff with story now. Anyways, I made it to the part in the story I know for a fact, where you go and you talk to Fordola, you see her backstory and like her motivations and her friends and stuff that she ended up killing at that fight. You know how long they've been together, all that stuff, like how her father died, being stoned to death to protect her, all that kind of stuff. And you kind of see where she gets the citizenship doesn't mean anything kind of thing, like where all that came from, and her mindset like is really like, you really understand it. And then her version of the Echo, she gets to see the Warrior of Light's backstory, and it's like, she's just can't believe. It's like, how have you not lost all hope when you've been betrayed and shit on so long, so many times, over and over and over. And that was a really cool moment. Really, really good moment. I liked that a lot. Um, yeah. Oh, I remember. That wasn't the last part. I left off. I had just talked to Nanamo. I had just talked to Nanamo Ul Nemo. Nanamo Ul Namo. I'm just gonna call her Nanamo. I just talked to Nanamo, and we're getting ready to leave Ul'dah for her adventures, and I'm gonna be her like bodyguard or just go around with her so she can see the lands, I guess, because she's assuming Raban's gonna go back to Alamigo. Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. That was the last thing I did, storyline wise. Unlock wise, there was a whole bunch of really cool stuff. I finally got to the point, and I was so excited when I got to this. I unlocked the freaking training dummies. The whole reason why I quit over a year ago, after I'd boosted a character, I couldn't unlock these training dummies because I hadn't done this unlock quest out in Alamigo to unlock the original training dummies with the DPS timer and stuff like that. I can't believe it. Like I was so happy. Like, you have no idea that it's like, oh, this thing that had me unbelievably frustrated and so angry at the game for so many, like for so long. The whole reason why I quit in the first place, I was finally able to get it. Finally able to get it. I finally unlocked it, and it was just it was such a good feeling, like that feeling of just finally getting there and finally, and it's so stupid too, because it's just stupid freaking training dummies. I would never have needed to do it, right? Like, it's not like a requirement to actually do this, but I wanted to have it on. I wanted to be able to do these things. I was seeing other people do this, and I knew that, mods at the time. I knew that you weren't supposed to have mods in Final Fantasy, so I wasn't gonna go get a DPS meter, and I wanted a training dummy so I could practice my rotation. I wanted to see if I was like good enough to go into a raid or not. Uh, and I was like, well, I don't have a DPS meter. This is my only option, so I went and did it, or I wanted to do it, and yeah, I couldn't do it, so I didn't raid, and I just quit. So, yeah, I know it's stupid, but that's It was a big achievement for me, personally. But yeah, and then there was the unlock quest for a raid that I'm not gonna do just yet. It was pretty interesting, like doing this weird stuff with Sid and going through this area. That was, I don't know, the Omega stuff. It's like Omega like allows you to exist there. This little baby chocobo named Alpha lets you in, and yeah, it was just this weird quest line with Sid, but it was really kind of a cool little story so far. I'll have to do that raid at some point. Um, but yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been really pushing hard to get through Stormblood. I'm gonna get into Shadowbringers soon, and then Endwalkers soon after that. Uh, I'm pushing the story hard, putting the VTuber stuff on the back burner for a little bit because I don't really need that to make these videos, right? Like I don't have to have that to make these videos. It's fun for me to create stuff like that and do the artistic stuff behind the scenes, and then eventually, hopefully, have this really cool setup for streaming and all this other stuff, which I plan on doing at some point here soon. Um, yeah. But yeah, so anyways, before I continue to ramble on about nothing, because I can do that all day long, just talk and talk and talk. But yeah, before I continue to do that, thank you all for watching. Uh, I'm sorry I haven't finished the Stormblood story. I am going to finish it soon. I'll talk about it again. If I finish it again this week, I'll just put up another video uh, rather than, spreading it out. But yeah, so thank you all for watching. Please subscribe, like, whatever, do those things, and I will see you in the next one.